Have you ever played Binding of Isaac? I have multiple times on different systems, and it's one of my favourite games to come out in the last few years. When it finally got announced that it was coming out for Nintendo Switch, I was super happy about it. What I wasn't happy about was waiting for it to come out to the UK, which still hasn't happened yet, so instead I've had to buy this from the American eShop. It's cost me a little bit, but it's definitely well worth the money. If you've never played Binding of Isaac before, here's a quick rundown. Essentially, it's a roguelike top-down game in the vein of Zelda. So, you go through multiple rooms on multiple floors, defeating multiple enemies, gaining power-ups, and then killing a boss at the end of each floor. Once you've killed that boss, you drop down to the next one, and repeat the cycle until you get to the very end. What makes this game super fun is the fact that it is randomly generated. No two runs are ever the same. So, you can start off with just regular tiers, and by the 4th or 5th floor, have something crazy like knives coming out of your face, which home on targets. Not only tiers, but you get bombs as well, which can be used as weapons, but also to use to blow up rocks, which will hide different things like soul hearts, which give you an extra heart, keys to get into doors or unlock chests, coins which allow you to go enter shops or arcades where you can buy extra items or play in different games, and also other bits and bobs as well, like hidden rooms. The fun in this game does come in the fact that it's randomly generated, and because of that, it does mean you're going to get a little bit of an annoyance sometimes. The difficulty isn't too bad. It does take a little while to get used to, but once you get the hang of how he controls and how to fire at things, it's a little bit easier, especially when you get some of the item upgrades. As well as getting item upgrades, there are characters to unlock which all play differently as well. One of the main characters I play as is Azazel, and it's just because it's a little bit more easier. Once you get the hang of him though, it is quite fun to go back to Isaac and the others, because it means that you've got all of those skills you were used to before, especially learning how enemies attack. Because the enemies are different each and every time, you do have to learn some patterns. You can't just rush in and hope to kill everything. You will die if you try and do that. Especially with the bosses as well. By the time you complete the game 4 or 5 times, you should really have the hang of it. And by that point, that's when you start looking at things like online wikis to then understand how some of the items work. When you get the perfect synergy and you feel like an utter god, nothing feels better. The more times you complete the game, the more items you unlock, and every single run pretty much brings something new to it. You might get the perfect synergy one time, but the next run die on the 2nd floor. As well as playing the normal modes, there's also the hard mode and greed mode. Greed mode is something new to me because I never played with it on the PS4 version because I didn't get the DLC. But it is quite a challenge, although I am having problems with it at the moment. As well as that, there's the daily challenges, which is a one-time run through whatever they've set up at the time. You only get one chance, so if you die, that's it, though you can practice it again. But if you manage to finish the run, you can see where you ended up on the leaderboards. There are hundreds of unlockables in this game, ranging from items, endings, secrets, the list goes on, and so trying to complete all of that in one big go is nearly impossible. I have a friend who's been playing it for the last 2 years, and he's only just managed to get absolutely everything, although when he now gets the extra DLC, he's not going to be too happy about the extra things he's going to have to do again. The game itself does run pretty smooth on the Switch. There are some noticeable hiccups when it gets really hectic on screen. I do remember that from other versions, probably not as bad as this though. When the screen is filled with enemies, flies, bombs, and effects from other things going on, it does get a little bit choppy, but the best way of dealing with that is killing everything on the screen and then you don't have to worry about it. I have run into a bug a few times though with some of the spider enemies. They do seem to get warped into the top left corner of the map, and it is a little bit of an annoyance because it does mean that if you weren't paying attention, you didn't see them, you've got to try and go kill them. Other than that, everything seems pretty smooth. The controls seem to be the same as the PS4 version, although because the sticks are a little bit more twitchy, there are some times when I do accidentally fire off in the wrong direction. Plus, I do seem to accidentally press the shoulder buttons one too many times and pop off a pill or one of my rooms that I've unlocked when I didn't mean to do it when I'm just readjusting my hands. I don't have the biggest hands in the world, so if I'm having an issue like that, it's probably not just me, but then saying that, it probably is. Overall, if you haven't played Binding of Isaac before, it's well worth picking up. If you live in the Americas, I'd say get a physical copy of the game. I mean, what else are you playing on this at the moment? Legend of Zelda? I'm still playing that at the moment, and while I do only have about 250 Korok seeds still to get, there has to be something else to play. If you've already played the previous versions before, it might be a little bit too steep in price to buy at the moment, and might be better just to hold out for when the DLC is released on other platforms. Overall though, if you're looking for another game to play other than Legend of Zelda, this is definitely the next choice I'd say. 1-2-Switch is pretty fun for 5 seconds, Splatoon 2 is not out yet and neither are ARMS. Mario's not coming out till Christmas, so if you're looking for another game straight after playing Legend of Zelda, I can't recommend anything other than the Binding of Isaac. Thanks for watching, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.